So we've got a motion to approve minutes for December 5th of 2017.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Okay. From a work session from
Okay.
also on December 5th, 2017.
All right, so a motion for the work session for December 5th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
And then the third item, I'm reporting on what I approved yesterday, which was authorized by Resolution 17-006, and it was a service contract agreement with Auburn Fence Corporation to provide or perform fence repairs, replacement, and installations as needed at various Geauga County building sites for the period January 18 through January 2020 in the amount not to exceed $5,000.
Okay, and then item number 4 for the financials for today. There's, as I said in the email last night, there's no vouchers that are being paid in this one. There's just really a bunch of year-end bookkeeping process type stuff. So we have revenue decertification from the commissioners for the airport construction fund, a revenue certification from the engineer for their road improvement fund, and also a revenue decertification from JFS for their Workforce Investment Act fund. On the supplemental appropriations, and actually these are pretty much de-appropriations, there's an appropriations transfer from Water Resources to move some money around for debt retirement and OPERS, and there's various supplemental de-appropriation requests from various departments in order to comply with year-end requirements.
So the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 17-161, itemizing the financials for the meeting of December 28, 2017.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Spillier?
Right.
Thank you, Adrian.
Okay.
Oh, I think the minutes. Okay. Let's do that.
Thank you.
Dave, did you want to talk about number 5?
Well, this is simply to, for 2018, if you want to continue what we've been doing the last year or so, to authorize me, or whoever's the county administrator, to execute in case of a lack of quorum, or if session is canceled, that I can do the financials in order that we can continue to process business. Again, that would be under your direction, so I would be reporting then subsequently on what it was I approved.
Okay.
Okay.
So the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board authorize the County Administrator the authority to execute in the case of a lack of quorum of Commissioners and/or if session is canceled on a regular financial day or on a day when financials need to be approved, the required approvals for county financials on behalf of the Board during the year 2018, as authorized by ORC 305.30, and which duties shall be performed under the direction and supervision of the Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Spillier? 6 and 7 we can do together.
Okay.
This is 6, this is 7.
This is all in the president, right?
No, it's all of you, unfortunately.
Not
This
the
is
peak.
only half of the year. We have June through December yet to do. This is only May, January through May. The county auditor is requesting the Board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county auditor for the months of January through May 2017 pursuant to ORC 319.15. The county treasurer is requesting the Board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county treasurer for the month of January through May 2017 pursuant to ORC 319.15.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Morning.
Where are ya?
Item 8 is just basically closing out the bid bonds from all the projects, releasing them back to the contractors for all of our 2017 work, so that the contractors were able to bid some projects for 2018. So
How much are the bid bonds usually? Is it a percentage? Or?
they're a small percentage of the actual contract.
Yeah.
We do that with maintenance bonds sometimes on some of our projects. 1%, 1 to 3% of the actual contract.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, after it's all said and done, completion, then you'll turn that back over?
Yeah, once the job is complete, accepted, Mike performed all their work, we'll release them. Usually we do it this time.
Okay. Great.
Easy enough.
The county engineer's office is requesting the board release the bid performance bond for the following projects if all specifications have been met. Resurface Nelson Road, CH2, sections A through C, Parkin Township for Rhinebeck paving. Resurface Thompson Road, CH7, sections F through H, Thompson Township for Rhinebeck paving. Resurface Clay Street, CH37, sections N through N, Thompson Township, Chagrin Valley paving. Caves Road Drainage Improvement, CH30, Chester and Russell Townships, Monty Construction. Resurface Chardonnay Road, CH13, sections E through H, and Clarendon and Huntsville Townships for Rhinebeck paving. Resurface Kirtland Road, CH17, sections A through C, Chardonnay Township, Chagrin Valley paving. The application of polyester pavement markings for the year 2017 for John County for Aramark. Resurface Clarendon Road, CH3, sections F through H, from Clarendon and Hamlin Township for Rhinebeck paving. And the resurface of Mulberry Road, CH39, sections A through D, in Chester Township for Rhinebeck paving.
So moved.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool? Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
All right. And for JFS committees,
Nobody's here from JFS. I mean, this number 9 is the reappointment of people that serve on the Family Services Planning Committee. That's a group that meets generally quarterly, and the meetings usually last hour and a half, 2 hours, and they kind of go through programs, where they need to make changes and eligibility and all that. This committee is briefed by the JFS staff that are responsible for the administration of the program, and then if the committee feels this what they're doing represents needs of the community properly, they will then vote to affirm what JFS staff has kind of drafted out as what they would like to do, and then it's brought to the board, to you three, to make the final improvements. But this is kind of like, these are individuals with various connections to the committee, or to the community. Jen Bortone, I think, is NAMI. Jennifer Felker is the Educational Service Center County Superintendent. Terry Malinar is retired. She used to work for JFS for many, many years. You all know Jessica. You all know Julie Weiss. Andrea Pollock is involved with the Next Step, and Ann Burr is a community, interested individual in the community. Her and her husband, run the funeral service, and she's been involved for years. Scott is sheriff. Nancy is Family First. Vicki Clark is Ravenwood, and then I'm on there as well, kind of representing what's going on, and that gives me an ability to let you guys know if something's coming up, to give you the heads up. So those are all reappointments, and then they are requesting appointment of Angela Spalsbury. Unfortunately, I don't have any background on her. She's PhD, so assuming she's been vetted and that she has the credentials to sit there as well and provide good input to the community.
I'll add to that, she is the incoming dean and CAO of Kent State University.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And she's replacing Dr. Susan Stocker.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually Jared Tudor had been on there before. That's
Yeah,
right.
she's really nice.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, the whole idea of this group is to have people representing the community from various areas.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they have Julie Weiss on there, because she's working for Medical, right? But you want somebody out in the private sector as well. You don't want it just to be public sector people.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board reappoint the following members to the Family Services Planning Committee for a one-year term, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. Jen Bartone, Jennifer Felker, Terry Melnar, Jessica Bolt, Julie Weiss, Threads, Andrea Pollock, Nan Burr, Scott Hildenbrand, Nancy Seelbach, Vicki Clark, Dave Blair. The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board appoint Angela Salisbury, PhD, to the Family Services Planning Committee for a one-year term, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018.
Make that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Soto?
Right. All right.
Working on a Santa look there, I see.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Make America jolly again. That's great.
That's awesome, sir.
That's great.
Hey, we all gotta do our part.
That is great. Yeah.
All right, number 11, Transit Department's, that's really the grant, the 5339 grant, that's for my vehicles. The amount of $125,792. That's the amount of the grant. Does not include the 20% for next year local cash they have to come up with. And also another probably about $3,400 in add-ons that the state does not want to pay for it any longer.
And that gets you 2 buses?
That's for 2 buses, yeah. That's for 2 vehicles. Two of the 12 twos, the ones that are sometimes empty. But 2 of those, so. And it's good, same, all lift equip, all ADA, 100% ready to go. So there'll be no issue with
The Transit Department is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the Ohio Department of Transportation 5339 bus and bus facilities discretionary grant program 2018 grant contract between the Jog County Board of Commissioners and the State of Ohio Department of Transportation for the period January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018 in the amount of $125,792 for capital items.
Okay, motion?
Second.
Mr. Lundey?
Yes.
Mr. Claypool?
Yep.
Mr. Spudler?
Right.
Okay. And then number 12 is myself requesting an unpaid leave for myself. Transit Department up to 80 hours for the first quarter, personal time. Again, I'll just remind everyone that it costs the county no liability, no anything, no, because I don't use the benefits from the county, so there's any accrual of benefits or anything like that. It's just strictly wherever my salary would not be paid. So, and also I know I've requested that in the past, and I have yet, probably 3.5 years of requesting that, I don't think I've ever used any of the unpaid time. I had to work around everything with vacation, sick time, so.
Any questions? The Transit Department is requesting the board approve up to 80 hours of unpaid leave for Director Michael Casper during the period January 1st, 2018 through March 31st, 2018.
So move?
Second.
Mr. Lundey?
Yes.
Mr. Claypool?
Mhm.
Mr. Spudler? Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you. Y'all have a happy New Year.
You
Oh, yeah,
too.
you too.
You.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Kathleen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody?
Good.
Okay. All right, so SEPCO again is going to issue all of the counties in the consortium wellness dollars. This year, they're looking to give Geauga County $13,056 for administrative use, or I'm sorry, for program use, and $4,000 for administrative use. So I'm here to see if you would like to accept those dollars that we can use throughout the year.
And we'll use those during this year for 18?
18. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now in 17, what we've done is, it's kind of difficult because the Wellness Committee always wants to do something substantial. Okay, so we don't want to do frivolous items or inconsequential things. So this year, we purchased we're going to set up some kiosks in various departments with laptops and small laser printers. And they're going to solely be used for employees to go onto the Anthem website so they can become better consumers of healthcare dollars that will keep our costs down for the county and ultimately to the taxpayers. They'll be able to look at their Lifestyle EAP, which is our employee assistance program, which helps employees out, which we've utilized quite a bit, in particular with some of the events that have happened over the last few months here at the county, like group sessions. They'll be able to look at dental coverage. They'll be able to go to Live Health Online. And this is the new thing that SEPCO has put into place because they will no longer pay for emergency room visits unless it's a true emergency. So what they've instituted is it's called Live Health Online, and you actually can go into your computer, as long, or an app even on your phone, and you can choose a doctor, and it's a doctor that's licensed in whatever state you're in. So if you are traveling to Florida and you think you have the flu or whatever, you can log in, and that doctor is licensed to practice in that state. You're actually having a face-to-face consultation where you're talking to them, they're talking to you, they can prescribe medication and things of that nature. So Sebco has decided not to charge a copay for that. It's really encouraging employees to use that service, and we're not talking about if you're keeling over from a heart attack. I mean, nothing like that. I'm talking you have pink eye, you have a rash on your skin, you have a sore throat, things that some people go to the emergency room for. And those visits generally, at the minimum, are $1,500 that it costs the consortium, and again, rolls down to county, rolls down to the taxpayer. So they're looking to keep those costs low. We want to encourage our employees to use those services. Some of our departments don't have computers. A lot of departments don't want their employees using their computers for that purpose. So we've talked with our IT department, and they told us that they can just sequester those sites, just those are the only sites an employee will be able to look at. So that was a pretty large purchase. And then with the remaining dollars, we did go ahead and purchase some other office equipment, like stand-up desk. We have a waiting list for those. People want them. So that's what we did for this past year. And this next year, whatever we're looking for suggestions, obviously you're the ultimate approval. And we do go out to our departments and just what makes sense. But again, not something frivolous.
Well, and they looked at things like even Fitbits, but those would go to individuals. These are assets that are being bought that will be retained by the county.
So are these kiosks, I would assume they're going to be in a somewhat, private situation.
Yeah.
And how many are you planning on setting up?
7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where would you like to put those, do you think?
Well, we're looking at Department on Aging.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they have things, but it's for the public. This would just be for employees. Definitely county home.
Mm-hmm.
Engineers, yeah. Probably up in the annex. We're thinking somewhere there where a lot of people can utilize things.
So you have employees that don't have a computer at home, and they have no way. You're saying, well, go online. Well, how do I go online? I don't have a computer at home. I'm not set up for that. Or you work for a department where they have a rule that just says, you have a workstation assigned to you, but we don't want you doing anything but your work on it.
Right.
Even something like this that's really benefiting the county in terms of lower rates if they use it properly.
Right.
And we have to respect that elected official feels that way, so now we provide this as alternative. This is how you get online and use those tools.
Right. And that's exactly true. And then obviously we sponsor the wellness program because SEPTA tells us to, since we're members of that. And that's Interactive Health. Just a little update. That seems to be going pretty well. I think people like the new vendor. I think the website's easier to navigate, and they seem like real willing to work with the Sebco and everything.
Kathy, didn't we hear when we talked to Wendy, it was a couple $100,000 worth of emergency room visits. They can't give us any details, but we, against your claims experience for the county, we spend a couple $100,000 on emergency room visits that shouldn't have really been at the emergency room.
I'm sure.
And that's what we're trying to really.
Yeah.
Is there going to be somebody to help, facilitate these things? And obviously, if people don't have computers at home, they're going to need. They may not be experienced with a computer. I mean, is there going to be somebody there to help them walk through this, or?
We have a lot of departments that do that now. I know
Yeah.
I can think of one department right across the street where she sits down with the guys and helps them do their wellness and things and navigate. People are getting a little bit better at that because quite a bit of a cost savings on our health care, and the incentive was pretty good this year too, which was $400. And again, that's Sebco money, that's not, county's not paying that. But if you and your spouse participated in the wellness program, you got $400 taxable dollars, I guess. So, but yeah, I think that the departments are already trying to help. Already, the administrators that are helping their employees. So, yeah. And if not, there's me. I mean, I'd be glad to go anywhere to help anybody, with all of that. So.
Okay, thank you.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President and Board to execute the 2018 Sevco Wellness Grant Agreement to promote employee health and wellness lifestyles in the amount of $13,056 and $4,000 in administrative funds.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool? Commissioner Spillier?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Send that to all of you, but that is the list that I had previously provided of all of the meetings for the year. It does include the second Tuesday meeting of the month at 9:30, scheduled to start at 9:30.
Give it a little more time to planning.
So I know that you guys are meeting next Tuesday with Planning Commission in the morning, and that there's some discussion about them even possibly changing the date of their meeting. So do you want to hold off on this until after you have your Planning Commission meeting? Or do you want to approve it as is and then amend it if we need to?
We could always amend it, I guess. That's
This
easy
way,
enough.
then you set your schedule for the whole year basically, and
Right.
then we can,
Right.
all of your holidays and everything are already scheduled around for your meetings, all done at once.
Okay.
You sent this to us, right?
I did. It was included with your supporting docs last week.
Okay.
And again, if something comes up where it changes, you can amend it, but at least you got something to start the year.
This is just your regular meetings, this is not
Right.
any work sessions, this isn't any special meetings, this is just to set your schedule around the scheduled holidays and to make that adjustment for the regular scheduled meetings. So, the
Okay.
Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve the Commissioner's regular meeting schedule for the year 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Spillier?
Right.
And then this is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board schedule a special work session with Richard L. Bowen and Associates to discuss the feasibility analysis Phase 1 final report on Thursday, January 11, 2018 at 9 o'clock to be held at 470 Center Street, Building Number 8, Chardon. And I know we talked about not moving it from here, but following the work session, Ken and Robin were looking around the room and they were trying to figure out wall space big enough to put their items up so that you could actually read what was on the screen.
Okay.
So he actually asked if we could move down to
Sure.
Building 8 where the larger screen is.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
available, so that's
Mhm.
why I have it scheduled
Good.
as such.
Okay.
So with that, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have we gotten feedback yet on how we're gonna handle the meeting in terms of some of the content is considered?
I actually had a conversation with Ken yesterday, and I asked him to go through and extract anything that was specific security related and put in an addendum that would then be presented to you separately as a non-public document, because it.
We had talked about actually reaching out to the departments and making sure that, like with courts particularly, that we're not gonna get crosswise with them in some way, shape, or form. Did we do that?
I did not do that. I mean, I've asked Ken, and I'll get back with Ken. To me, it's like, there's certain things that are like general knowledge. We know that, just in general, there may be issues with, protecting everyone adequately the way we're currently set up. But there's also things that kind of specifically say, this is a particular way that you can, someone unauthorized can get in. We don't want that in there. So it's kind of like the generals, I think it's common sense, and to me, that's public. But the specific is what you want to have in a separate addendum.
But we had talked about possibly going into executive session to discuss some of that stuff because it's security related. I don't know, I'm throwing it on the table for.
Well, and I think
discussion,
that would be
so-
appropriate, that if he sets that in a separate addendum where it's clearly specific security issues, that would be appropriate.
To have a worthwhile conversation, as
Yes.
Ralph had said last week, a meaty conversation.
Right, right.
It might be worthwhile to go into executive session for part of it, because as I read it, and took notes.
Right.
This last week. There's some pretty significant stuff in there, some of which probably wouldn't be prudent to speak in the public about.
Exactly.
Because it does relate
And if
to
they leave it,
security
if
and
they
some
leave
other
that in the
things.
main document, then before it can be released as a record, it has to be redacted and all that, which can get kind of messy. So I just say,
Right.
why don't you just make an addendum and
Right.
pull all that other stuff out of the general document that is a public record.
So,
These
I don't know
authors-
if we want to formally, establish some sort of process going into this meeting so that we know going in that we've got.
Well, I'll ask Ken to, give me the draft as soon as he has of what he's come up with, that we can pass by you guys and Laura and make sure that, this all makes sense.
And I would suggest, I mean.
He's supposed to send it to Laura.
Yeah.
I provided her email address to him and Robin,
Okay.
and that was discussed when you guys were here during the work session, that it was, anything that they were gonna present was to go to the prosecutor's office for review before it's presented on the 11th.
Yeah, I would suggest at least, so we don't get crosswise with the courts and.
I think maybe the only other thing is have the prosecutor's office come in and explain what confidentiality means to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Mhm.
Commissioner Spillier?
Hey, okay. We're gonna be closed on the 1st for New Year's. We'll reopen on the 4th here for our meeting. On the 4th for our reorg meeting, and start the new year. Other than that,
Was there anything?
oh, the only other thing is I wanted to make a motion to reappoint Tracy Engel for the planning commission. He submitted an application, so we could get him for that.
Is that ahead of the schedule? I mean, can we do that now?
I just don't have the term length in front of me, so. I
'Cause
can-
I was just gonna say, I mean, it's up next year. I don't have any problem.
You can fill in for whatever the term ends up being.
It's a 4-year term,
Right.
so it'll be January 1st, 2018 through, I think
Yeah.
it's either 2022. So it'll be to the end of December of 22, or 21. Be December 31st, 2021.
Yeah.
So,
So we got a motion.
a second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Spillier?
Here's the phone. I went through this last night.
Anything
Oh,
else?
yeah.
I didn't know if there was
I
anything
put
else
some
you guys want
comments.
to talk about. I did bring.
Oh, just a couple,
Yeah.
not a ton,
I don't
but,
think so.
just being relative to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just.
I like
so-
that.
Yeah.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
And just a motion to adjourn.
But I don't know, it's so big, I tried
Motion to
to,
adjourn.
so moved. Second.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
It was so big, I didn't know, I tried to